Hey everybody. So, I wanted to have a bit of a discussion. There's quite a few things that happened the last couple of days that got me thinking, and I think I had like a mini revelation. Now, as I say that, regardless of what I figured out, if I can't do anything with the information to improve it, to improve the situation, it doesn't really matter. So, and I guess it's a bit of self-gratification to know I'm not a complete moron. It's more of, I think my biggest problem now is more of either evading, persevering, or accepting the hand I've been dealt. So, either deal with it, leave it, or beat it. Get what I'm saying? You know? And I don't know how to beat it. Leaving is a difficult subject, which most would argue, including me, that it's more that I don't have what it takes to execute that decision, whether it be fear or, knowledge of knowing how it would go, or a little bit of both. So, yeah. Anyways, I don't want to get too into it. I want to tell you a story. Now, I want to tell you maybe 3 stories, depending on how long I'm out here. I'm on the public trail close to town today. I'm not too worried about talking here today because it's probably 15 degrees and everything's ice. So I figured I'm probably the only one crazy enough to be out here. So it works. It's quiet. I can discuss my thoughts without worried about being eavesdropped on. For starters, I want to say I think I kind of figured out why I don't have a car, why I don't have friends, why I can't find a job, why I talk to this little box instead of actual people. I think I figured that out. Now, I'm going to discuss it at the end if we have time, but I want to get into my stories first, because like the episodes I did involving my memories, it's hard to grasp, it's hard to explain. So I don't want to get into something and go on a tangent and a tirade. I want to kind of stay on a metaphorical path. Oh, another thing is, I really wanted to do this when it was nice and snowy out. So that's another reason I came out today. So, said it's the only time this town looks beautiful. Anyways, so I mentioned it's in a few episodes that I was helping that old man. The old man passed away, and I was now helping his daughter. Well, throughout helping, we both did things for each other, such as, hang on, I gotta switch hands, my hand's going numb. Alright. We both did things for each other, such as, she'd give me a lift to go pick up beer, or if I missed the bus, she'd drop me off somewhere. And because she is, without being mean about it, I'd say she is on the borderline of morbidly obese, and can't really, move around a whole ton. So I would help her put her clothes in the washer or dryer, or take them out, or run to the store for her if she needed something, or move a box, whatever it may be that needed done. And I thought we had a good relationship that way. You know, she'd drive me places once in a while, throw me a pack of smokes once in a while, you know, and I would do these little odds and ends. Now, the deal was, I cut the grass, and I cleaned up the yard. They have a dog, a real weird little bugger that kind of grew on me a bit, I think. I started taking him out after he passed away because, well, he wasn't going out as much, so I figured if I was there, I'd let him out. Anyways, I pick up the, with a pooper scooper, obviously, the little dog nuggets, and throw them in a bag, and throw them away, and then I'd cut the grass. And then when wintertime rolled around, or when the grass didn't need cut anymore, I'd come up on Monday and Thursday to clean up the dog waste and take out the trash. The deal was, I would weed whack, pick up the dog nuggets, and mow the grass, all for $20. You know, I thought that was fair for both people. And then the one-off occasion that I did the hedges, I told him to throw in another 20. So then, when I was doing the grass and stuff, I thought $20 doing the grass, the weed eating, cleaning it, all of it up. I thought $20 was a little cheap, but I thought saying $20 for trimming up the hedges was a little much. But seeing that I only do the hedges once every 2 months, and I cut the grass, 5 times every 2 months, I figured it would be a nice little balance for both parties. So, in retrospect, in 2 months, I would cut the grass like 5 times, and I'd do the hedges once for $120. Depending on, how things went. Depending on the weather. Depending on if he needed it done or not. So, generically, that was the deal, Take care of the dog nuggets, take out the trash, mow the grass, weed eat, do the hedges, and, I'd get around ballpark of that's the work that would be done for the ballpark estimate of $120 for every 2 months, so $60 a month, to generalize it. And I thought it was a great deal for both of us because I could use the money and they need someone to do the work. So I thought it was a great deal. Well, he passed away and I was helping out his daughter. And the other day, the deal was I would come up, I would shovel the snow for $20. I would shovel a path, shovel the sidewalk, clean off the cars, salt, make sure everything was clean, $20. That was the deal. Alright? So, that went fine the first time. But then we got this mess, and she called me the night before, and here's kind of how the conversation went. She's like, "Are you going to come up and shovel snow tomorrow?" I was like, "Well, I was just thinking about that." I was like, "I can. What time would you want it done?" She's like, "I can't pay that much." And I'm like, "Okay, I'm switching hands, hold again." But, I'm like, "Okay, that's fine, but I'm not shoveling your walk." I had to put my foot down, And here's my reasoning, alright? As soon as I said, I can't do it for nothing. Like, I can do it for nothing, but I'm not gonna do it for nothing. As soon as I said that, she's like, "What about all those rides I gave you?" And I was like, "Okay, so your dad just passed away. You're gonna try to guilt trip me with that. Then you're gonna try to guilt trip me with a favor you did for me 4 or 5 months ago of taking a ride like 2 miles up the road." I was like, "I'm done with you." I was like, you paid, well, I'm gonna be like, you paid for this week, I'm taking the garbage out, I'm never coming back, don't call me again. Because from my understanding, from the way I feel about things, is if you do a favor for somebody, you don't do it so you can hold it over their head later. You know, well, I guess a lot of people do that, but I mean, it was completely wrong, because my argument is, you know, I was doing all that extra shit for her, sorry, I don't like to swear on camera, but I was doing all that extra stuff for her, taking the clothes out, taking the dog out, running to the store and picking up stuff for her, and she was paying me the same stuff, like $10 a week, and then 20 if it snowed. Now, here's what would happen, okay? Here's what she was expecting. For something in her mind told her that I'm gonna walk up there, I'm going to take her trash out, I'm going to get her groceries, I'm going to, you know, fix her, do whatever laundry stuff she needs done, I'm gonna take the dog out, I'm gonna pick up the dog nuggets, and then I'm gonna shovel her walk, all for $10 a week. And I'm like I don't understand where that would compute. I guarantee if the roles were reversed, you know, she'd tell me to go F myself. So I was like, you know what? I'm done with it. But this is what I deal with. This is what I deal with. This is one of the reasons why I am the way I am, how I became so bitter, so angry, how I lost my childlike whimsy and excitement of the world. Stuff like this. Like, I was like, you know what? I already have a charity case. I already have somebody that I have to deal with that's manipulating and guilt tripping me. I don't have to deal with you. So I was like, I'm pretty much gonna tell her to shove the $10 right up her orifice of choice. So that situation is done and over with. Alright? I'm taking care of that on Thursday. Today's like Tuesday. So I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna do the last round of doing that I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm gonna be like, I don't care, you can shove the money. You know, you can have one of your sons do it. Or, you know, hire somebody else. Find some other sucker that's gonna do all that for $10. So that's kinda how that's gonna roll. Now I'll get on to my next story. I'm turning around here because I'm getting up to the gate. Yeah, I'll turn around here. And let's get on to the next story. So, as I told you, little story, I joined a club, which I'm pretty against. I don't like joining clubs without knowing what they stand for. But I figured I can't waste my entire life away, and I might as well find something to do with some of my time. And joining this club is what I chose to do. Whether it be a good decision or a bad decision is yet to be seen. But I got my membership card, Saturday, like 3 days ago. I finally got my membership card after being a member there for like, I don't know, 2 months, 2.5 months, a while. I was a member there for a little while. Now their rules are $10 a month or $10 a year to become a member. Okay, whatever. $10 to just be able to walk into a bar for an entire year, as many times as I want to. Okay, that's not bad. I can live with that. I mean, I thought he was saying $10 a month when I first talked to him. So $10 a year was pretty good. I mean, that's less than $1 a month. So I signed the papers. I was like, okay, I'm now a member of your club. I got my card. And old dude, he's a bartender there sometimes. I'm not sure how their system works. He comes up to me, hands me my card, and I was like, thanks, about time. Now I'm an honorary member. I could be part of the cool kids club. And he looks at me, right? And he's like, you come in here and you play pool for free. I don't care about myself, but the least you can do is tip the younger waiters. I was kind of floored because I don't know how to feel about it. For one, no self-respecting man or business is going to walk up to somebody and say that. especially when they're a new member. Like, that's highly disrespectful. That is against social etiquette. That's disgraceful to themselves and the company they work for. Like, I was floored. I was like, are you serious right now? And he's like, so, yeah, okay. So he comes up to me, and he's talking about me tipping, because I haven't been tipping because obvious reasons. For one, let me explain the atmosphere here, alright? Yes, I play pool for free, but they could get a pool table with the quarter thing. If they didn't want their pool to be free, they could charge for it. That's true. If I were to drink at home, I could get a 6-pack of beer for about $7. If I want to drink down there, I get 2 beer for $5. So I'm paying a highly inflated price for the atmosphere. As far as the waiters are concerned, all they do for me is take $2.50 from my hand and hand me a single beer 2 times a night. Maybe hand me an ashtray if there isn't one there already. So that's what they do. I shoot pool there, but I put everything back the way I found it. You know, and give them back the balls they keep behind the counter and junk. I put things back the way I found it, and I clean up after myself. So the waiter doesn't do much for me. Now, I don't remember. I used to be fancy, and I used to know the tip ratio for restaurants and bars. Like, it's like 8%. 8% if they're bad, 12% if they're good or something. I used to know that once upon a time. So, if I were to tip them the highest amount due to etiquette, you're talking like 60 cents. So I mean, could I do it? Yeah, but that's not the point. You don't go up to a customer and say that. Ever. There's no single situation where you can go up to somebody and say that. The part of a tip, the part of giving a tip, is getting good service, having the money to do so, and voluntarily giving the tip. If the tip was mandatory, it would be on the bill to begin with. So that really kind of irritated me. And this is the kind of stuff I deal with. It's completely ridiculous. Now, if the old guy really knew anything about me, he would know that I tip, and I tip very well. Not now, but when I used to go places, and I used to do things, and I had a job, I would tip, as long as the person wasn't, a complete jerkbag, I would tip way above rate. Because I had the money to do so, and I realized, they have to deal with me. They have to. They have no choice. So I might as well make it worth their while. And that's kind of the code I live by. But when I go to a bar, and the bartender does literally nothing, but hand me 2 beers and take my money, it's hard to justify a tip when I have no money to begin with. So it's not so much that I'm cheap. It's more of that at the moment, until something happens and I get a full-time job, which we're going to talk about if I have time here, I don't have the money to tip. So yeah, I mean, the biggest reason I made this video is because I wanted to talk about it while it was fresh on my mind. I wanted to discuss it while it was fresh on my mind. And this is what I deal with. I'm hard-pressed to find where I'm in the wrong here. Like, should I tip? Probably. I mean, $1 here and there? Yeah, probably. I simply don't have it. If I had money to throw away to a bartender, I would just buy more beer. than just go home after drinking too. You know, I'd stay longer. But, you know, should I tip? Yeah, usually I do. It's part of who I am. It's part of how I handle things. But nobody that has any self-respect is going to walk up to a customer and say that. If I was going in there with 3 or 4 buddies and ordering, you know, a $300-$400 tab, and there was beer cans all over the place, and I did this once or twice a week, and I never tipped, then yeah, I could see them being like, listen man, you're a scumbag, but I go in, drink 2 beers, and clean up after myself, so they can suck my orifice of choice. So anyways, oh, excuse me. So, that's 2 of the big things that happened recently. I have another little one that isn't really bad, and just something that I noticed. I went shopping, and my aunt picked me up, because for some reason she's the elected babysitter now, I guess. And she took me to go get groceries, but she said she had to stop by her mother's house first, which was fine with me. The only thing that I was upset about was the fact that I didn't eat breakfast because everything happened so fast. So, I was pretty chill about it, and I was like, yeah, sure, I mean, as long as we ain't staying for like an hour, I don't care. So, we stopped by, and one of the girls there was the girl that went to bingo with my grandmother. And it took me a while to recognize her. And she was like, how's your grandmother doing? And I was like, blah-bitty, blah-bitty, blah. Mostly okay, things ain't all that bad. She still complains a lot. And she's like, what does she complain about? So I was like, you know what? Now that you mention it, I think she's running out of things to complain about. And the reason I say that is the last 2 things she complained about was me not putting enough water in my cup when I let it soak in the sink. Because I don't wash it immediately. So I don't fill it to the brim with water to keep it soaked so it's easy to clean, I guess. And that whenever I put in a case of my energy drinks into the fridge, I just put the whole case in, open the box, and take one out as I go, instead of taking them all out of the box all at once. Which I don't understand what the big deal is either way, but hey, you know what? Both things, whatever. You want to complain about it, gives you something to complain about. The truth of the matter is, having all the sodas in the box keeps them in one area. You know how many you have, and you don't have to worry about them rolling all over the place so they get knocked over or shooken up. And me not putting enough water in the cup doesn't really matter. Whenever she washes it, I usually have to wash it again anyway, because there's always little hot chocolate or coffee stains left behind, so I just wash it again anyway, so I don't see where it affects her. And then she's like, well, it kind of seems like you're the one complaining. And it hit me. I'm like, you're right, I am, but I have a lot to complain about. I mean, in retrospect, she's not wrong, but at the same time, what I'm complaining about is somebody else's frivolous complaining. I'm being made out to be this way because of how somebody always treats me. You get what I'm saying? It's like what I said about prisoners, like regular guys that get caught like shoplifting and they go to prison for however many years, or something stupid, like you get picked up for jaywalking and you're in prison for X amount of time, and they treat you like a hardened criminal. Part of that stays with you. It stays with your mentality, with your soul. So whenever you go back into the world, you always seem to be a little worse off. So, yeah, you always seem to be a little worse than what you were. So, yeah, I mean, I get treated one way long enough, I'm around something long enough, I'm either going to pick up those habits or I'm going to become that, because that's just what happens. Sooner or later, you know, you spend enough time in a situation, you're going to become what that situation dictates. No matter how strong you are, eventually you will break down, and you will become or take notes from the influences around you. It doesn't matter how willpowered you are or whatnot. And I think it just got like 10 degrees warmer. I think, well, what I really think is it stopped being windy. That's what I really think. Real quick. So that's pretty much my 3 stories, alright? You can look at it however you want, but the truth of the matter is, I was being guilted, manipulated, lied to do more work for somebody for basically no money. That's wrong. I was being approached and told to leave a tip at a bar when my tab was $5. Like, I'm not wrong here. I'm not wrong here. Like, I'm just not. You never approach somebody like that. You don't hold something over somebody's head whenever they're doing you a favor. I mean, $10 a week, I almost am doing it for free. Yeah. Like, that's just how it is. And the complaining thing was just something to complain about. The complaining story was just another complaint. So, the other big secret, the thing I think I figured out of why I don't have a car, why I don't have a job, why I talk to this little plastic box, why I don't have friends, you know, what I think is, if I had a car, it'd be harder to keep track of me. If I had a car, you would never know, you would have less of an opportunity to know where I'm going to pop up at. If I had friends, there would be more of a chance that somebody would slip up and spill the beans about whatever's going on. Or there'd be more of a chance that I would figure something out if I'm talking to people. If I had a job, there'd be more of a chance of me running into somebody that, you know, might trigger a memory. That's just pretty much it. If I take a bus to go somewhere, the bus is scheduled. Most people are going to know or have access to that information of knowing where you're going to be when you're going to be there. If I get a ride from somebody, that person and the people that know them know where I'm going to be. And, you know, this sounds like a big conspiracy theory, and it probably sounds like I'm a paranoid psychopath, but it is true. I am a paranoid psychopath. No, I'm just kidding. Well, maybe. No, I mean, it is a big conspiracy. There is something going on. There is something wrong here. And the reason I can't branch out, the reason I can't get... The big secret I think I figured out the other day is that if I talk to real people, if I had a car and could just pop up anywhere or be less restricted, you know, people won't be able to whatever's causing this won't be able to keep me isolated and keep me from, you know, figuring out more, I think. The point is, I think the stuff I'm figuring it out too late. You guys can think about it, contemplate over it. If you think I'm a psychopath, you let me know. If you think I'm on to something, maybe it's happening to you too, and you just haven't figured it out yet. Think about that. Later on.